Hi, I'm Jeff Owens, and welcome to SceneDaily.com. I'm joined today by Kenny Bruce and Bob Pockrass. This weekend, the NASCAR Nationwide Series goes to Kentucky Speedway, and there's been a long-running debate about whether Kentucky Speedway deserves a cup race next year. They're battling for one right now. They're pressing NASCAR to get one, and they've got a lawsuit going on there. Probably nobody knows more about this issue and Kentucky Speedway other than Bruton Smith than Bob Pockrass. So, Bob, let me ask you this question.
All right.
Does Kentucky Speedway deserve a cup race?
Do they deserve one?
Should they get one?
Should they get one? Yeah, I think they should get one. They have, it's a beautiful facility. They apparently are doing great improvements to it that we're going to see this weekend. They fill the stands, 70,000 people for a nationwide race. If they can do that, then they certainly could probably put 100,000 people in there for a cup race. It's the one thing that they do have to figure out is they've had some weeper problems with the track, so they need to get that fixed. But if they get that fixed, I think it'd be a fine venue for a cup race.
There'd probably be a lot of tracks weeping if they get one. Kenny, what do you think?
I don't think they need a cup race. I don't think they deserve a cup race because, I mean, you can go to Indianapolis if you live in that area. That's not that far. You could go to Bristol. That's not that far. You could even go to Michigan if you wanted to see a race. To me, there are already enough tracks out there that can satisfy the fans as far as in that particular region. Now, you know, you're going to add another 1.5 mile track. What do fans always say? There are too many cookie cutter tracks out there. You're going to throw another one in there on top of that? You know, I mean, some people might want to go to Vegas again. What do you think?
Right. I agree on 2 points there. One, the last thing this sport needs is another 1.5 mile track. I think the next track that hosts a cup race needs to be a short track. That's what the fans say. That's what practically everyone says, and that's what needs to happen. I also agree with you. I think there's a dozen other locations that NASCAR needs to go before they go to a place like Kentucky. Las Vegas could use a second race. I think that would be a smart move. Or let's go to a brand new market. You know, NASCAR's been trying to get into Seattle. They've looked into getting into Denver, New York City. Those haven't worked out yet. But I think they need to press forward and try to get into a new market before we go to an area that's basically already served by NASCAR.
Well, if it's already served by NASCAR, you know, why do they still have 70,000 people there on a weekend where Cup is at Michigan?
Because there's nothing else to do in Kentucky, Bob.
Well, but if they wanted to, they could have gone to Michigan. They have tickets available, so you know, they make the choice to go to Kentucky Speedway. It's been, I mean, the racing hasn't been incredibly great, no, but it hasn't been bad either there at that track. So I think it's definitely a place NASCAR should consider. I mean, in the absolute world of do they have to have a cup race? I mean, is NASCAR going to be that much worse off if they don't? No, but I think they could be they'd be a little bit better if they did.
The only way I could see this working, and this is probably what's going to happen, is that if a current market on the schedule loses a race. If that happens, yeah, you maybe could justify putting Kentucky Speedway in that spot. But I just think that's not opening up the sport to new markets. I think that's a market that's pretty well already served by Indy and Michigan and some of the other Midwestern tracks, and I would just like to see them go in a new direction.
Well, the thing about it too is you don't want to add another event to the schedule already. I mean, because the guys are already on the road the entire year, and I mean, you know, they're already talking about how many weeks away from home they spend now. What you don't want to do is add to that. I mean, it's like you say, if you're going to do something, if you are going to consider giving that track a cup date, then look at the ones that you've got now that have 2 dates. Take one of those away.
Yeah, the track will get another opportunity this weekend to show its qualities and to prove why it needs a cup race, and we'll see what happens there this weekend. Thanks for joining us today on SceneDaily.com.